Welcome to Papercraft Possibilities. This is Susan. Today we're going to be using these 6x6 papers. This group is called Full of Life from Stampin' Up. And these 6x6 papers I'm going to use on a 12x12 scrapbook page and pages. It's a double page spread. So we're going to turn these magically into 12x12 sheets. We'll see you soon. Roll that intro. I wanted to show you some of the pictures I'm going to record on this page and explain a little. These were taken at the Desert Botanical Gardens right outside. I think it's in Phoenix area. It's when we used to live there a couple years ago. And they had an art exhibit going on, which was the Chihuly glass. And Chihuly is an artist who does this blown glass. Hopefully you can kind of see there. And just some fun pictures I took. This is a wall there that you could put your name on once you make a donation to the Botanical Garden. There's my guy. And there's the entrance of the garden. I highly recommend going if you get a chance. These are all statues or exhibits made by Chihuly. That's all blown glass, and they were probably 10 feet tall each. And here's another one, and they're just stunning, especially when the sun and the desert hits them. So let's get started. I've pulled out some white bases, and I think I want to start with that. And let me put these aside to each other. What I'm going to do, because these are very hard to get on a screen with you. Let's see if I can pull them out just a little. Sorry for the wiggleness. And then what I'll do is once I decide what I'm going to do, I will just put one on the screen at a time so we can see it better and I can get close up. So these are, I believe, they're 1 3/4 wide, and these are the color black from Close to My Heart. And I'm only using them because I'm trying to use up my stock that I already had. So I'm going to go back in with some Stays On ink. Bear with me, I'm going to pull one of my brushes out. I'm going to go through and ink these up. So while I'm going to show you what I'm doing, I just don't want to see the white core. When you use Stampin' Up's paper, they have a solid core. So you can see that white, so you won't have to worry about that. But I just want to get rid of it for this particular instance. So I'm going to go ahead, now that you've seen what I'm doing here, you can see then that the white core just disappears. I'll go ahead and finish these up, and then I'll be back with you in just a minute. I got all of the black is all inked up. I've got all my pictures matted. And as I pulled out my cutting machine here, forgotten the official name of it, I apologize. I'm finding glitter paper all over it. I thought I would show you some of the cards I've been working on to share with you for Christmas. So this is one of them, and I've layered up. I've got it embossed on the back. I've used a snowflake border in here, some glitter, some vellum. So I went all out on this one. This one will be fun. I'm not quite done with it, but it kind of is a cutout and it spins. So working on that one just a little still. And then this one will open up like this, and there'll be a place here for you to write your message. So working on those, I'm putting together one more that's still in my head and not on paper. And that will be a package that you can purchase to put these all together with instructions, or with a $50 order or more this month, which is the month of September 2024, then I will send all these to you for free, including the envelopes. So, and everything will be die cut for you. The only thing that I can't stamp anything because of standards of Stampin' Up, but I can go ahead and do everything else for you. So there are those. So thought I would remind you while I'm picking off the glitter from here. So now I'm going to show you what I've done to use this 6x6 paper and make it so I can use it on my 12x12 pages. So I'm going to make it even smaller. I'm making it a 2-inch cut here. Whoops, that's my scoring one. Here's my cutting apparatus there, whatever you'd like to call it, my blade. So I'm going to make a 2-inch square. And it's pretty important at this point that you have a sharp blade in whatever cutting tool you're using. I'm going to line up a point here. Let me see if I can kind of bring you in a little bit closer. So I've got a point right here and a point right here. And you want to make sure that stays snugly in place. And then you come down and you cut it into 2 triangles. And I did that for quite a few, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with that. So these are 1 3/4 inch wide. And let me pull the ones that I have already cut. So what I'm going to do with these is first I'm going to come up, I'm going to make sure they're even on left and right. And I want to mix these up. I don't want 2 pinks next to each other, that kind of thing. And I'm going to come do something like this. Let me line up several so you'll get the idea. And then what I will end up doing is I will cut off the top to make it blunt. Let's see if I can pull in another color here. And this is going to go really well with the colors I'm choosing for my pages. Because it was a Chihuly display at the desert, I wanted to make sure his bright colors were brought into the page. And this is the paper I thought about using because it's very artistic and what he does is just phenomenal. So let's see. So get one more here. So I'm going to go ahead and start putting these down, and I will get them all down and then I will be right back with you. Okay, I've put everything down on their black mats now, and I've inked up all the edges. I've come in and I've glued down my triangles, and I'm going to go ahead and do a dry fit here on the pages. And I decided to do the black just because there's going to be so much color on this page. It really grounds all of the colors and gives you just grounds all the colors. So there are going to be some flip-flaps, and flip-flaps are what you attach to the outside of your page protector, which allows you to put more pictures on the page. And some people do them on the inside of the page protector, and I've done those too, where you cut a hole in your page protector and bring them out. But I'm going to go ahead and do these on the outside. And what I want to do is over here, I think, so this is the one of the glass, and this is just a picture of my husband, which I really like. So I'm going to put that under there because I think it's important that we show why we were there, what that was all about. And here we have the entrance, what I like. And then there's Bob and I. I think I'll put this one on the top just because it has the title of where we were at. So I think I want to do those. Then I've done some die cutting, not die cutting, I've done some Cricut cuts, and I brought this in, and I have a plan for what to do on the page behind it, but then I have these 3x4 pictures, and I'm gonna be putting a couple of those, I think I want those there. Let's see, there's one underneath here. There's already a picture of me over there, so I don't think we need another one, but I liked this big because I liked all the color on the picture. And then my husband is looking in this picture to this way, so I'm going to put it over here, I think. And then let's see. I think I like that. I may, let's see. I kind of like that. And then I have some interesting things here. Let me see, I pulled them out. I'm gonna see if I can make them work. These are some acetate film strips, but I really liked the tone of them with all of this. So my thought was, see if this works, kind of putting some maybe back here. I like that. And then these are like the little negative to a film strip. So, and again, they're acetate. So I think I might put them on the page and kind of offset them. Let's see how that will work. Kind of wonky. Let's see how that's gonna all work. And I think I have some 3x4s. I'll bring those in here in a minute. And yep, I do have some 3x4s over here. So the only issue is some of them that are going to have flip flaps can't have the offset. So, and I think these were all singles, right? No, this is a double. Yeah. So this one might have to go right on top just that way. Those were singles. So now I need to decide, and this is a double. So, and then my thought was, because normally through the acetate, you can see glue. So I was going to use some of the Stampin' Up! Little tiny glue dots that come like this. And I figure if we just put one on there or two on each photo, it will be fine. And if we see it, that's okay. But I'm thinking since this has to be square on, I'm not sure. I wish you guys were here to help decide. So we could either be like this, or, and then you know what? If we do that, it's gonna hide the sign for where we were at. So we could do some straight and some not straight. Let's see. If I do it this way, I'm always gonna have a title or some journaling on here as to what I want to do or where we were at and the date. So maybe we should make them all straight. I just like to be a little different. What can I say? So maybe we'll do that. Then for behind here, what I wanted to do is I wanted to do some inking up. And off camera, I did a test, and I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come in here and do this over in here and pray it turns out okay. I'm not gonna glue anything down until I know I've got it right where I want it. So I'm gonna move everything to the side, and I kind of have an idea of where I want this all, and then I'll come back and we'll do that together. I've got us all set up here. I've left this here, and I'm just going to be pulling it off to the left or the right as I do my ink blending. I've got the example of kind of what I want to do over here. I've got my two brushes. I've got a piece of paper to tap off here, and I'm using Melon Mambo, pardon me, and crushed curry. These are two of the Stampin' Up! Colors that are in these papers. And then I've got my blending brushes out, and I'm using a pink, and I kind of use this for my yellows. So first I'm going to start with my yellow and ink up, and I kind of want to start it off light. So let's go in here. Maybe just slightly more, not a whole lot. Looks like I've got maybe some tape or something in there. I'll have to get out my adhesive eraser. I think that looks really good. So let's try some pink. Or Melon Mambo. I'm still learning my Stampin' Up! Colors. Bear with me. And this one seems to be a lot juicier, so I want to be careful. Let me get another piece of scrap paper here. Okay, I think we're good there. Come down a little here. Definitely test your inks before you start to use them on your paper. And we've learned that Stampin' inks tend to be a little juicier than what we're used to with Close to My Heart. So just test everything. I think I might want a little bit more yellow in there. Let's bring that back. Bring it out a little bit wider. And of course, when you mix the two colors, you're going to end up with a little bit of orange in there. And that's okay. Okay, I'm happy with that. Let me bring back in my 3x5s or my 3x4s just to make sure. I'm not going to put them in particular order right now. I'm just going to lay them down. Uh-oh, I got some ink on here. I think we'll be okay. I think that looks good. It gives an emphasis on here. And then when I was doing some die cutting, let me see if I can find it. It's not right here. There was a little sun that was cut out too that came with it, and I was questioning whether I should use it. Here it is. And I might use that back in there. Yeah, I will. So let me put you on hold for a minute, and I'm going to glue everything down, and we'll go from there. When you're using these glue dots, what I do is I keep the blue part that comes with this string of tape, and you can barely see them. Hopefully you can see them there. They're just little tiny glue dots, just like it says. And I find the one that I want to use, and I hold them in my left hand. And what I'm going to do is I'm taking my acetate piece, making sure I'm on the back end of it, and I'm pressing it down on that glue dot. And I'm only going to do 2 because I really don't want them to be seen a whole lot. And I've already put them on my other ones, and you can't even see them. So this is the picture that will go on top, and it's going to go in the flip flap. And I'm going to show you a little trick for those at the end when I when I have them both of the pages done. I'll show you how I have a little hack to do this with. So see if I can get this a little straighter. And so what I've got on these is I've only have 2 of the corners secured with glue dots, and you can't see them at all. So I think it worked out beautifully for those. So I'm going to finish up the other side and get everything down, and then we're going to come back and we're going to embellish the page, and we'll do that together. I have finished gluing all of these down with the exception of the one of the pictures that are going to be in flip flaps. And with this, I'm thinking I might want to bring some of this blending of ink over just a little bit in here, just to kind of dress it up just a little. Then I have brought in these, again, these are things that have all been in my stash, so I'm sorry I can't tell you where they're from, but this is just the date that we were there, what it was, and that we were there for the Chihuly glass exhibit. And I'm either going to put these down in here or up in here. I'm thinking, whoops, I'm thinking down in here. So let me get some inking done up here, and we'll see how that goes. And I want it really light. So again, we have our crushed curry, we have our melon mambo, and I'm gonna get another scratch piece of paper just so I don't end up with a lot of just blobs. I don't want lots of ink. I just want a tint of it. So let's start with, whoops. I thought I might do that. Let me get my paper towels out. Okay. I'm going to, this is how I get my ink off. And then every once in a while we do wash them, but I'm gonna put this separate from the pink. That's how I should have done it to begin with, because I have a habit of doing that. So let's start over. I'm gonna put it in here just to get a very light shade. I think we need more. Some right there in the center. And then let's bring in some mambo, melon mambo. And again, this one's a lot juicier. That brings this over to this page on the left. And I like to kind of repeat what I'm doing on one page to the other. So there's that. I think I'm happy with that, especially when you start putting something on top of it, and it will always dry lighter. Put those aside. So what I want to do now is, let me get some glue down on this one, or some tape. And what I want to do is just kind of, I don't think I want this whole strip out as high as it can go, so let me see what that looks like. That works, so let me line this one up where I want it. That works. Does anyone else have a problem with their handwriting on their scrapbooks? My daughter's asked me to include my handwriting on some things, and it's just not my favorite thing to do, but I do it, and I do it because, you know, my children have asked. So I'm leaving it there. So I'm gonna put these down in here. Let me put some tape on here. And I'm gonna leave this down in this corner here. And I'm gonna show you the flip flaps and a little hack for using them when I'm finished here. So stick around. Then I have these little dots that I found, and I thought that these are, one says one fine day, one says just chillin', one says fun in the sun. So I thought I would put these up in here. Very appropriate for the just chillin'. This picture's gonna go in a flip flap. And one fine day. Okay, and there's some of my little dots I wanted to bring in. I've decided to leave this upper corner alone just because it was just too much. So I'm gonna take off, I'm gonna show you my little hack here. I'm taking off the pictures and I'm gonna put in flip flaps, and I'm gonna show you what a flip flap is. So, and then I'm gonna show you a trick on getting these pages into page protectors, because it was something that I was struggling with, and I was actually bending some of my pages when I went to go put them in. So I'm hoping this hack will be helpful to all of you. Okay, so here are my pages. Let's put these aside. And first what we're going to do is I'm going to bring over my page protector. We're going to do one page at a time because I want these next to each other in my album. So we're going to take this page, which is my left-hand page. It doesn't matter really with whichever way. And I have two blank pieces. I'm going to pull this out again, pardon me. Two blank 12 by 12 pages. And I'm putting one on the top, one on the bottom. And let me explain why I'm doing this. Is because oftentimes on my pages and a lot of people's pages, things are three-dimensional and they might be loose. I could probably tack that down. But like on these, I didn't want to tack them all the way down because I didn't want my ink dots to show a whole lot. So oftentimes there's things that are, you don't want to get caught when you're putting these in your sheet protectors. So I bring in the two 12x12 sheets from my stack or stock of paper. See, I want to have this on my left-hand page. So I then slide all three of these sheets, and it goes in so much easier, guys. It's so much easier. So it's in there, and then I just simply pull out the two pieces. And I'll do that with my other sheet, and I'll do that off screen, and then I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with the flip-flops in case you've never seen that before. So here is our left-hand page, and let me bring back in the picture that I want to be on top of it. And Stampin' App, thank goodness, has just brought these back in, and they're producing these. So this here are 3x4s, and these are 4x6s. And the reason why, let me see if I can show you. There's one like that in the 4x6s. And I haven't looked to see if they're packaged the same way with Stampin' Up, but I have a hard time believing they wouldn't. But so here's one if you want it to go up and down. Here's one if you want it to, you know, different ways of putting them in. So we're going to go with, let's go with the up and down one here. So keep in mind, I now have a sheet protector on there, which I'm sure you're getting the reflection from. I'm sorry. I'm going to put my picture in here, and I might have to trim it just a little. Yeah, I'm going to have to trim it just a little. Okay. This I went ahead and put some decorative paper on the back side of it. You don't have to if you don't want to. You could also do some journaling here if you wanted to. So I know I want to put this right here, and it's important that you kind of line that up before you actually put it down. So next you want to do is pull off this piece of the paper off the sticky part. And you're going to turn this flap over, and it's very, very sticky. So make sure you're happy with where you want it. And I'm trying to line up my mats in the background from my other picture. And I'm going to put that down like that. Then I'm going to burnish it down just to make sure it sticks. And I've had very good luck with these staying. Just make sure you just do something like this and burnish that down. So there you go. So this will go in your book, and then you'll be able to have more pictures here. Now keep in mind, you could do 3 or 4 pictures if you wanted to. You know, you could have a flap up going this way, a flap up going that way. Of course, a picture or journaling here. So there you go. So I will have still pictures at the end of this video to show you both of the pages together close up. And there you go. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. I am giving out a stamp and die set every month still for people who leave a comment, likes, all of that below. My next video, I will be announcing who this last month's winner is now that we're into September. And once again, the shopping code is down below for this month. They call it the hostess code. So if you could put that in when you're shopping, it'll ask you for that number or letters, combo of each. If you could put that down below, I'd appreciate it, or in your order. And until next time, bye-bye.